welcome back, everybody, to season 2 of Brothers in the Deep End.
Yes, sir.
Damn, it's an honor to say that. It's Ethan Addison here. We got Casey.
Bow, Casey. Ooh.
And we got our special guest, my brother, Travon.
You already know the vibes.
Before we get started with this episode, I just want to shout y'all out. It's an honor to honestly say that we're doing season 2 of Brothers in the Deep End.
For real.
Who would have thought, right?
Facts.
It came from that first episode, and now we're here. And it's literally still just getting started. And we're doing this all because of your support, and your feedback. We're doing it for you. And just having the ability to just motivate and impact your life somehow, some way is what we do it for. And it's amazing. This is the greatest gift. This is one of my biggest blessings. I love coming to this podcast, just be able to talk back to the people and just impact someone. You know what I'm saying? Like, just reach someone's heart. That's all it comes down to. Just please continue to support our growth. And as a podcast, by following, subscribing to all of our social media platforms, Instagram, YouTube, Apple, Spotify, appreciate it, because this is not possible if you're not tuning in. You behind this mic listening right now in your car, whatever, this is not possible if it's not for you tuning in. I literally do it for you, Casey. We do it for you. This is the whole objective. Just to share our story and how it could relate to you and make you better. Because I want to make you better off our flaws, off our story, and whatever the case may be, I want to make you better than what we are. But let's get back to the main point of this podcast. Let's get back to it. So I brought my brother, man. This guy, he means a lot to me. We don't go way back, but we go way back, if that makes any sense. We have lots of ups and downs in our journeys. We've been through a lot as brothers, and it's an honor, really. I feel like I said, I feel blessed to have Trey by my side right now, because he means a lot to me. Little does he know it or not. But this is Trey. Those that know him, well, this is Travon. He's the guru when it comes to football, man. And honestly speaking, he really is. He was an all-star in Fort Hamilton High School. I looked up to him then. He played. Then he went on to play D1 football at Stony Brook University. He has many accolades in football. Too much to name. He could go on with that when he comes in the scene. And currently, right now, he's a private defensive back coach. He trains his athletes through his business called DBMovement. Check it out right there. On Instagram. What you got?
Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. I'm about to drop a YouTube page. Pretty much everything. Next is about to be Pinterest. I don't know.
Oh shit! So he legit trains any athlete that plays the defensive back position, from little kids to pros, and on and on. Also, he can just train anybody just looking to develop the craft as a football player. He'll get your feet and hips right. Believe that, and that's what you need for football, especially for my athletes tuning in. Funny story is that for DBMovement, or Trey's coaching journey, I was one of his first clients, and here we are today. So I brought my brother again and my mentor to show the viewers a more deeper side of Trey beyond this. You see DBMovement and him putting up the film with all this football stuff, and to just give our viewers a perspective of once a star athlete and now an up and coming coach, defensive back coach specifically. And so let's talk about them high school days at Fort Hamilton where we both played football, man. We also all went to the same high school.
Indeed, we did.
Facts.
Blast from the past.
Yes.
Hamilton High School,
Fort
baby.
Hamilton High School. I was a freshman coming into Fort Hamilton, and I went to Fort Hamilton because I wanted to play football. That was my sole purpose. So when I seen those varsity dudes, it was like, oh shit, this is football. This ain't no like no backyard football where I'm thinking I'm nice. Like, these dudes legit have some size. So I'm like, yo, I ain't shit. Like, but when I looked at the games and stuff and saw these varsity dudes playing, especially Trey, it's like automatically those are my role models off the rip when I saw him on the field. And Trey was one of them, because like I said, he was that dude at Fort Hamilton. And I'm giving him the praise now. He was that dude. That, like, it's just simple. At Fort Hamilton, when I think of Fort Hamilton, I think of Trey. He's laughing, but I'm being straight up honest. He was their guy. I don't know if it wasn't for Trey. I mean, there's a lot of superstars, but I'm just saying he was that dude. But I always wanted to pick their brain, coming in as a young athlete, not knowing much about football, and wanting to be that superstar. So just Trey, now's the time where I get to pick your brain. So here we go. Let's talk about the journey from high school, and let's go from there, man.
Yo, you just amped me up OD, but I appreciate it.
It's love, bro. We got
always is.
We got to get the praise over here, man. You know what I'm saying? You're my brother too. I did the same for Casey on his episode.
Yeah,
that's what it's about.
I love it. Definitely do. I appreciate you, E, and I appreciate you, Casey, having me on here today. But just my journey, high school, right? It was fun. Fort Hamilton was definitely fun. I had probably the best 4 years of my life.
It did look like it. Like from my perspective, it did look like it. Because Trey was a dude that you see it right now. He's jolly, smiling. So I'm like, damn, this dude living the high school life. Shit, fucking star athlete has an offer in Stony Brook. What the fuck? Everyone knows him.
You got all the girls, bro. You got all the girls.
Yeah, let's not get into that right now.
Nah, not in high school. I was a good guy.
But like, just talk about quickly, your journey in high school and as to like football and that personal life. And let's talk
what
about
made you get into football?
Yeah.
To start off with, like, what's my first question? You're like, so what made you get into football? And like, did you pick Fort Hamilton as like the school, or like was it just like your zone?
How I got started with football was actually my pops. He was on me like hard with sports, keeping me out the street, which was, I love him for that. But like I started football, I want to say at 6. I started playing flag from like 6 to 7. And then when I turned 7 or 8, I started playing contact football. And I'll never forget my first day in pads, and I got hit hard. And I started crying. My dad was like, if you don't want to play, you don't got to play. And at that moment, I was like, damn, I can't be no sucker. So, the next day I went out there, and then I finally hit somebody, and that was all she wrote. From that day on, I just became who I became as an athlete. He stayed on me the whole time from when I was 6 till I was like in college. He stayed on me.
Hold on, I just want to jump in on that really quick. And it's crazy that you said that, because I brought you on here because you're an influence to my life, and we're all getting together to share our good fruits and those people that really brought us to who we are to this day, me and Casey. So that's why I brought Trey. But he said something very important. He said something about his father being a vital part of his life in that football journey. That's the one thing that I think I click with Trey a lot, is that his father was there for him, like my father was there for me. And like they kind of have the same guidance and insight, like, so I really respect that about your dad too. I've seen your dad before. Big up to the OG, Papa Trey Yurt.
I honestly wish I could relate, to be honest, to both of you, because I know you guys are very like sports heavy. Like my father, like he like forced me to like try to play baseball, and like he would literally put me against the park and try to like hit balls at me. And I just hated sports, bro. Like growing up, I really hated sports. Even though like your pops, both of y'all pops, really like were there to support you for sports. Like my dad really tried to get me into sports, and I was just like, nah, this shit ain't happening. And like I feel like I was too pretty for sports, bro. I'm not gonna hold you. I really thought I was too pretty, and I just threw the bat and just walked home and said, I'm gonna go tell mom, bro, if you really fucking. And
That's
he was
crazy.
just like, yeah, no, we're done, because he don't want to deal with her. Crazy. But continue on, bro. Let's hear it.
Actually, you touched on baseball. I felt like I was a better baseball player than football player.
Really?
Yeah.
A lot of football players think like that, man.
Yeah, I felt like I was way better in baseball than football. But as the journey went on, I didn't know anything about Fort Hamilton until one day I had met Coach Jones. Shout out to him. He explained Fort Hamilton to me. He brought me in to like see the school and everything. And as soon as I seen it, I loved it. The Bay Ridge, I had never been to Bay Ridge before. And that was like the first time I had been to Bay Ridge, and I loved it. But I had actually gotten to Abraham Lincoln High School, but then, I wasn't happy about that decision. And then I finally got into Fort, which was great.
Hell yeah. It was good.
Hell yeah. I became who I became at Fort Hamilton High School.
Exactly.
What made you like not pick the other school, if you don't mind me asking?
It was I don't even know how to explain it,
And Lincoln
was a great school.
Yeah, Lincoln was like our rivals.
Yep. Our rivals. It wasn't much to it, I already had kind of set my mind on it in 8th grade, like I was going to Fort Hamilton. And when I didn't get accepted there, like I weighed it out. I was like, Lincoln is a great school as well. I had a few friends go there, and I was like, all right, this is, if it ain't meant to be, it ain't meant to be. But then, something happened, and I ended up at Fort Hamilton, which I was very thankful for. But either situation, I feel like I'd have been who I was,
Nah, I think nah. But okay, go ahead.
And then, but God, like they say, God works in mysterious ways. You feel me?
We're gonna touch on that with this relationship right here.
And then, throughout high school, I had met, God rest his soul, Coach Sanchez, and from when I got to Fort, he taught me a lot about DB. Shout out to him, Bam, Howell. Those guys on that 2010
Legends
team,
right
2009,
there.
yes, legends, great dudes, man. They taught me a lot coming into Fort, and just like you say, I was your like role model coming into Fort. Those guys were my role model. The Brandon Reddishes, the James Howells, the Jaquan Jarrett's.
Even when I was coming in,
them,
not even to, but even when I was coming in, when I heard that was like when you heard their name, it's like, oh, that's big time.
Yep.
And then Trey was about Trey, and then when you see Trey, Trey's about to be, those new guys.
Yep. So those were the guys that I looked up to coming into Fort, especially because they played defense. Not so much on the offensive side, but definitely the defensive side. But throughout high school, it was a grind. I would say it was a grind. It was my freshman year, I didn't know what to expect because going to Fort, you see them in a championship game every year. In the semifinals every year. Like, there was a streak we had where we didn't lose a regular season game in like 4 years.
So much high expectations. I think that's why I was shook as a freshman because I'm like, wait, we heard it around town that Fort Hampton was good, but when you were there, you could feel it. You was like, oh shit, like it's either like you big dog or you gonna get ran the fuck over.
Yeah.
And I got ran the fuck over a couple times. But it's all good. I'm a late bloomer. It's all good.
Hey, freshman year I had played running back on JV. And, playoff time came and I got moved up. So I got like a little sweep and I tried to cut back and Ivan Foy just,
Kink.
All I'm gonna say is that was probably one of the hardest hits I've ever experienced in my high school career, literally.
Mm-hmm.
But it was fun.
Talk about your high in high school.
Mm-hmm.
And talk about that low point.
All right. The high was definitely, I would say, my sophomore year of high school.
And why was that?
That year, first off, we won the championship. We was the first team to win the Yankees.
Was that
2010?
2010, okay.
Yep.
Damn, you old. No, I'm fucking,
He is old, though.
With you.
Come on,
He is old.
Don't promo
Bro,
that.
he's only 20, bro. Stop playing.
Yeah.
It was 2010. We had won the championship. That was the first time I had received the college offer. My first offer was not offer, but my first letter was from Wisconsin. My first ever college letter came from Wisconsin University.
I didn't even know that shit.
But that year I had finished with 8 picks, 4 that was returned for touchdowns. I had like 6 or 7 touchdowns on offense. But that year was just like magical. Like, it's like one of those stories you tell people as you get older, like, yeah, my sophomore year of high school, man, I was the dude. But that year was like probably one of the best years, I would say. And then I feel like a low definitely was my junior year. Going into my junior year, it was like expected for us to win the championship game. Like Fort Hamilton, this is what we do. We're in the semifinals every year. We're in the championship every year. But just injuries, man, like.
Yeah, that's one of the downfalls of like athletes, dog. I think even me, like even when I just get hurt in general, I think injuries just could fuck you up because first of all, like we talk about all the time, Casey, time takes time away from you.
Mm-hmm.
Can't get that shit back. And you're just like, damn, bro, what the fuck? Like, what if I would have did this or did this? There's something different. Probably when I got hurt or something, but it just lined up like that.
Yeah.
And you probably had that major typical injury that many athletes go through that's very depressing.
Yeah. So what type of injuries did you have? Because honestly, I don't know.
Literally.
The very typical injuries at like a football
worst,
player would
like
have.
one of the
I think MCL and ACL would be like the biggest.
So it's Trey say it.
Yeah, it's all right. Besides ACL, MCL, you got the Achilles, the labrum so much. You know, it's a little shoulder. But I'll say definitely the ACL, the MCL, the Achilles, definitely the Achilles.
And which one you had?
I had the ACL.
Oof, so that's like big ass.
And LCL.
Yeah.
So I had both.
Oh.
But yeah, my junior year, man, you know, started off hot. Like we were playing well as a team. You know, I was like, all right, junior year, this is my year to take my game to a new level. And we started off great. You know, we was winning games. And then I got hurt. I want to say against probably week 4, week 5. I had caught a stinger in my shoulder. Set me back for like 2 weeks. And then within that, 2 or 3 weeks, we had finally lost our first regular season game to Erasmus.
That hurts, especially against E-Hall. That was again one of our rivals too. One of them niggas excuse my friend, they kicked our ass. That's all I gotta say. They kicked our butt.
Yeah, that day they got at us. That was that Wayne Morgan team. Him, Kurt, Shaquille, Khalil, Darren. That was that team. And then I came back. We had played FDR in a snow game. I don't know if y'all remember, but it was like a blizzard. And we had beat FDR that day. And then the following week, we had played Lincoln again. The last game of the season, the championship game rematch. And, you know, they were beating us. I want to say 13-0. And at that point, my competitive spirit at that point was like, I gotta, you know, make things happen. And the play was called. I should have never went backwards, but I did.
I told you, when injuries come, you think of the shit you
should have never did.
You should have never did.
The play was supposed to go left. I decided to maybe I could get by. I went right. Got caught as I'm, you know, being driven back. The whistle's blown, so I'm thinking he gonna stop. I try to stop. Foot gets stuck in the turf. I felt it. Knee pops.
Ah, fuck.
And like
I could
literally,
hear it. I could feel it. Special delivery.
At that moment, like everything in my mind went blank. It was like, I don't know if I could curse on here, but it was just like,
no, you let it out.
Oh, where it was just like, oh shit. Yeah. Like that was my first word. Was like, oh shit. Like you don't ever think like.
No, yeah, I could kind of relate because like when an injury comes or something, like even Casey, like when we're working out, he's like. He was like, let me tell you a quick story. I don't
know he about to expose me too.
I'm sorry for intervening with Trey's real quick, but this is gonna be funny. We're gonna jump back because this is an amazing story right here with Trey. So we're at the gym and we're doing weighted chin-ups. So Case, we had the chain going down, your little crotch area. You know what I'm saying? So he finishes his set. He's like, yo, bro, it's stuck to my dick. It's stuck to my dick. He's like, I think I gotta go to the bathroom. He was like, and he looked at me like, oh shit. He gave me that. He said the same thing. He said, oh shit. And he ran to the bathroom. And honestly, that's a feeling we all get. Like when you get hurt, you're like, oh shit. You pause. You get that.
Yep.
You get that. Whoa, that shit didn't feel right. You just know.
Yep.
And then I know you definitely went blank because now I was thinking like, yo, your junior year, and I know that's for you athletes out there or just anyone listening, junior year of like high school for any athlete is a big year.
Even anyone in general, bro.
Yeah. For college students in general, because colleges are looking at you, especially for athletes. They're looking at you for those offers and whatnot as a pinnacle year. So if you tore your ACL, it's like, oh, they might throw my offers out the way. Because it's like, if you're not there, they go on to the next. It's business at the end of the day with that, just like life. Say you get hurt when a job's supposed to offer you, they're gonna be like, oh, I'm sorry. Calls next year. And it moves on. So that was probably what was going on through your head, especially with that Wisconsin thing.
Yeah. It was when it happened, it was just like kind of like that blank moment, the oh shit. And then like I didn't, you don't want to assume the worst of the situation, but it's like, dang, I ain't never feel that pop in my knee before. I've been hurt, multiple times, but like, stingers or so that's it. But like to feel a pop in my knee, it was like, this is how I run. This is how, I make plays with my legs. And then, that, and then the process of just like, mind you, I was still coming off the stinger. My shoulder wasn't 100%. Now I got to go to therapy for my knee. And then finally getting an MRI and being told like, yeah, you tore your ACL and your LCL. And at that moment, it was like,
do or die.
Yeah, it's like, my life has been built on sports. And, you know, me tearing my ACL was like, I'm a junior. This is going to take about 10 to 12 months. Senior year, you know, it just, everything seemed blurry at that point.
Yeah, and you don't know from an ACL, you don't know if you're going to recover the same way. And, you know, you're young too. So there's a lot of emotions when sports is just everything you know. I went through it. I think a lot of athletes go through it. And just a lot of people in general, when something's the only thing you know, and then something injures you to take that away from you, it's like, oh shit, what the fuck? And you get in a dark place. A lot of people get in a dark place. You know, it gets really rough. You think about quitting. You think about, I'm not gonna be. And like I just said, you're not gonna be the same. You have a lot of doubts in your mind. And when you get that diagnosis, it stings your heart the most. Your mind's just in a blur, and everyone's trying to support, and you're just not hearing it. Like what I went through. Like, you know, when I got that, I'm like, oh shit. You know what I'm saying? In the hospital, I'm like, oh fuck, here we go again.
So moving forward through your injuries, like what happened after? Like, did you play at all after that? From like the end of your junior year to senior year at all?
Once it happened and I found out I tore my ACL, I went through the whole process of the surgery, you know, the recovery, and I want to just, you know, shout out to obviously my mom, my dad, my sister, my friends, for just, you know, at that time it was more so of like, I don't even think I want to do this anymore.
Yep, told you had those thoughts of quitting.
And, you know, like my family, my friends, my teammates, they rocked with me. You know, they kept me in a stable place where it was like, yo, let's do this, right? You know, like, you can do this. And at that point, it's like, damn, I may be a little scared to get back out there, you know, but they was there the whole time. And then shout out to one-on-one training. They held it down. Franco at one-on-one, James at the other one-on-one. Like, they held it down for 10 to 12 months. Like, it was just
the get back.
a grind. Like, my dad even took me out to the field sometimes and was like, yo, let's start running with no brace. And then that was like that 10 to 12 months as a junior going into my senior year had to be one of the weirdest moments, because it's like, after high school, a lot of people don't know, like, once you graduate high school, you're an adult, right? There's no, oh, you got to go to second period at 8. There's no, it's the real world.
Welcome to the real world.
Or you either going to college, which is the real world, or you got to go get a job. And at that point, it was like, my whole mindset was sports. Like, me tearing my ACL was like, damn, what am I supposed to do now? Like, there was this plan B. Like, people always say have a plan B. And it was like, I didn't have that plan B in high school. I had only plan A, which was football. I'm going to play ball.
So what would you, is that an important message you would relate to just young athletes tuning in now, and especially everyone else out there, to just not pull all your eggs in one basket?
Yeah, I have two feelings about that, right? You know, they say have a plan B just in case your plan A doesn't work. And then some people say you don't have a plan B. Well, your plan B is to make sure your plan A works. And I have different feelings about that, because even like making your plan B being making sure your plan A works just means you got to grind. Like your plan B is to just make sure everything you got goes into your plan A. You are grinding. No matter what it is in life, you know. But also having a backup plan, especially for athletes.
Especially for football.
Yeah, because like at any moment, it could be taken away.
Yeah, one play.
Literally, that was my thing. I was like, damn, it's over. And mind you, I'm 16 years old. Yeah. And I'm like, yo, I dead tore my ACL. Like, I only thought people in the NFL or college did that, but like,
no, it happened to you.
Yeah. And it's like me. Yeah.
It's a rough injury when you hear in the NFL and just everything ACL is like, whoa. Even the NBA is like, oh shit, like he's out. He's out. He's out for the count. But that was the get back. I know that feeling. So you come back senior year, and then what's your mental now? Because obviously it paid off, like what you did, and God works in mysterious ways.
Definitely does.
So how did your senior year, the breakout on that Stony Brook offer came?
My senior year came. we didn't play well that year. We went 1-6. I missed the first 3 games. Coming back, like the first game I was back, I was very timid. But as the season went on, I started to get more comfortable with my leg, But as far as like senior season, I played okay, still had hiccups. But the Stony Brook offer, also shout out to Stony Brook for, definitely explain it. My junior year, I had a few offers, about 6, 7 maybe. And I actually that summer going into my senior year had committed to Temple. And
in Philly?
Yep.
That's crazy. I applied to that school too.
I loved it. I don't like a lot of people. I loved it. For some odd reason, I loved it.
No, it was beautiful. It's a beautiful college.
It is.
Yeah, it is a really nice college.
But it is right next to the hood, though.
Yeah, it is. Now you're right. 1,000. But the college brings it up. You know what I'm saying?
It does.
Like,
it
brings
does.
out the neighborhood, bro. I think it really did.
It does. But obviously I tore my ACL, so that summer I had committed there just to try and get it over with, and the coach ended up leaving. So at that point it was like, oh damn, right? But throughout that process, Stony Brook, they was there. They was there. And, I can't thank them enough for, holding it down. Exactly. Having faith in me. Because, a lot of coaches hear, a guy tore his ACL.
Yeah, like what I just said. And it's GG's goodbye.
Exactly, right?
See you later. But Stony Brook, it's a great institution.
It is.
Shout out to Ba. He go there. A lot of dudes I know is balling out there. And you balled out at Stony. You was you started all 4?
All 4 years.
I don't care. D1, I don't care. Starting at 4 years, you coming in, especially off what he went through. 4 years, and he started 4 years at the D1 level. A whole new system. And especially as a cornerback. That is tough.
Yeah.
Big up. What's the accolades you had? I know you at Stony Brook. You had an ESPN top.
Oh yeah, I had I don't even know what number.
It was
ESPN top 10 play. I think
top-
it was number 6. I think.
He was balling, and he was top Ak, but now he's not Ak. He's an old man right now.
I don't be in the gym.
He had some size to him. So you had like a lot of accolades, stats in there too, like picks, whatnot.
I didn't have like a lot of accolades. Senior year, I finally became 3rd team all CAA, which was great.
I mean, shit. Okay.
But I finished college
crazy.
with 7 picks, 1 touchdown. I want to say 50 tackles. I don't do no tackling, but about 50 tackles. But yeah, it was. Me personally being hard on myself, I could have played better.
I think so too. Okay.
But that's with everything though.
Nah, I'm going to Trey. My background, Trey. I think he has a lot more potential than he knows.
But that's like everyone, you know what I'm saying? Like it's like a lot of moments. Like even with anything you do, you always look back at it and you're like, damn, I could have done this so much different or so much better. Like that shit is really with everything.
Disclaimer: I think that all the time. Every time I do a podcast, I say the intro, but at the end of the day, I don't care, man. I'm gonna live with my flaws, so I don't give a fuck. That's what
No,
it is.
absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
So like moving forward, you were talking about. So you went through college, right? You did all this. When did DBMovement start coming into play with this? So
I could kind of help him transition with that. Matter of fact, I could kind of help you, unless you want to take over, because I had the story to like how I kind of found it.
How did that? It honestly, it came from actually being in college, low key.
Really?
Because in college, I tore my shoulder twice. So at that point, it's like, damn, 2 more surgeries. So it's like, man, I need to start thinking of something else at this point. But again, shout out to my teammates, my friends, family, everybody that got me through those times. The trainers, everything. But I think it came probably my senior year.
And what influenced you? And like what influenced you to like start this?
I think New York City football influenced me, right? And I felt like what I learned in college from all my coaches, from my teammates, it should be given back to the youth, right? It's pointless to like learn something, have so much knowledge about something and not give it back.
Yeah, that goes for anything. Because then it's just wasted.
Yeah,
it goes for anything for life. Everyone wanna, when people get to the top and get rich, they don't want to pay high tax. Well, they don't just want to give back. And I'm not trying to get political, but then the whole tax thing, they don't want to get taxed. Well, bro, you're making all this money. What's the whole point if you're not gonna give something back? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like, so how did you also come up with the name like DBMovement?
I ain't gonna hold you. The name came up one
I'm
day
dead.
after a session. Literally, I'm sitting down, I'm talking. I'm like DB. I'm thinking of it like a name, and I'm like DB movement. Like it's a lot of movement to the position. You know, playing football, it's a lot of movement. So DB movement just popped and it stuck. Feel me?
Nah, it rolls off the tongue pretty easy. I ain't gonna hold you. Like, it's pretty good.
It's catchy. I just want to ask a question out there for the viewers. In college, did you have similar struggles to high school, or was it harder in college? What was that transition like really fast for those athletes coming into high school and to college, and that difference maker from playing collegiate football to high school and the different struggles?
I would say definitely a little bit of the speed, the size of dudes from high school to college is definitely different. And it pushes you to want to get stronger, to want to get faster. So I would definitely say those were like the two adjustments going from high school to college you would have to, really focus on, because that first summer camp, I'm not gonna be honest, I probably got ran over like 3 times. Like literally 3 times. And like dudes were just like fast. But
and you're not getting cradled no more like that.
Yeah, nah. Next man up.
Next man up. And it's straight biz naive.
Yeah, it is. But college is like, it brings that competitive side out of you. Like each play is like a game rep. Like the dude across from you, probably a 3-star, 4-star, or a dude that probably transferred from a big time school. But like college is definitely, the transition is obviously your mental, but the speed and just like the size of dudes is just like the two differences, I would say.
So like, how did that transition to you being a coach?
Just like pretty much taking in everything while I was there. As far as like paying attention to my DB coaches, and just listening, looking at my teammates, learning from my teammates as well, watching film. I watched a lot of film in college. And for all you young guys, even my athletes that I coach and train now, this game is 90% mental. Literally, if you know your opponent before you get out there, things slow down. The more you study, the more you learn, things start to slow down. That's like life. Like the more you know, that like what they say, knowledge is power. The more you know, the more successful you'll find yourself.
But you have to execute with your knowledge. There's a difference there too.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
People do, I know this. All right, but have you done anything to apply it? And I get on Trey with that shit too, because he's a good learner. With football, he's a dog, but we all have our struggles with real life. And sometimes when I'm telling him, like, yo, you reading this, right? The same thing you was doing with football, you got to do it with life now. And I just want to bring up a quick story with me and Trey, and like how God works in mysterious ways, and like how this whole DB movement came is crazy. So long story short, me and Trey, we didn't speak at high school at all. At all. Like I said, I looked up to him, but back in the day, it's just like, the old heads, they weren't speaking to the young cats, or just, it was just like that. It's whatever.
It's still like
it's still kind of like that in high school.
It really is
It's still it's level still. But when you get out of high school, it's like now we're mature, we're grown, we're young grown men. So I'm playing college football. I switched to DB. I forgot about Trey. When he left high school, it was like, oh shit, he went to Stony Brook. All right, good luck. He's gonna ball out, do his thing. But I gotta focus on me. I can't keep, toodles to you. So I'm in college now. I'm switching to DB. I'm like, damn, bro, I need a coach to get me right, because I went from wide receiver to DB. Then I see Trey make a post, and social media is very important, because if it wasn't for him putting that post down, his content of him saying, hey, I'm training people with DB or what the case may be, I would have never connected with Trey. So I reached out to him. I'm like, yo, I need to get right. He's like, all right, bet. Pull up. I came through. He sort of recognized me. He could say he did, but he sort of recognized me. He's like, oh shit, I remember you. You know that little bullshit. You know that little bullshit.
Bro, I know you.
Yeah, you know that little bullshit. Like, yeah, I remember you was a little nigga back in the day, right? So
that one little party I went to.
I'm like, all right, bet. So basically, we got right, and I knew it was legit training, because when I did my due diligence on training, when I did my research, I was like, damn, this dude's a dog. I saw his film, and I wish we could call it a film, but I'm like, yo, this guy's a dog. I'm like, oh shit, like training with him, I'm about to get right. Like this, he's no joke, and I know he was that elite dude. pull up with me and Blake. Shout out Blake. We did a training, and in the middle of the training, I'm like, oh, this is different. Like, I thought I was nice. I was not nice. I was doodle cheeks. I was doodle cheeks. I got humbled.
At least you could like admit you were doodle cheeks, because most people don't admit that they were doodle cheeks.
So I was like, at that moment, we all need a coach at times to see where we at, because that coach is gonna test you. So Trey tested me. I was like, damn, like I didn't give up in the workout. I didn't puke. I always pushed 110%, and then even Blake, it's all good. Blake was like, yo, Blake never talks like this. He's like, yo, yeah, I'm thinking about throwing up. It was a hot summer day. When Blake said that, I said, oh, this shit real. This shit real. So from then on, knowing me, I'm consistent with everything I do, and that's why we in the studio like every week now. I hit up a train. I was like, yo, we need to get right, and we was on it every week. But through that, we just really got close as friends and as that client to coach relationship, and then became brothers. He started giving me advice on football. Like he said, he became like a student of the game, and he put his teachings and wisdom on me. And then I put that. I'm a coach now. I was a coach at the same time. I was working as a personal trainer and also training for college. So I put that aspect as to my clients. What he's teaching me, I was putting on to my clients. He told me how to be humble, just be patient, don't overthink, don't overwhelm yourself. And I think that goes with everything in life, and I respect that. Mm-hmm. And he made me a complete, just different athlete. Made me smoother. I just felt better. I felt elite training with Trey, because shout out to DBMovement. You want to get right? He be training top college kids, pros. I was training next to a pro. Shout out Chris Cooper. I was training, like, I was starstruck for a moment. I was like, I can't show it. I was starstruck, but I'm like, and he was just smooth, Chris Cooper, and Trey's training him and still does. And it's just crazy. And it's just grew up from there. But, like I said, we bashed heads at times, but we was competing on those moments when he was coaching me and whatnot, because we'll do one-on-ones and what the case may be. But he taught me a lot of stuff as a young man and as an athlete. And at the same time, it's weird because like he's like a little bit of my mentor, but I'm hard on him. And like sometimes he reaches out to me, and I could lead him in the right way as well. Age don't really, even though yes he's older than me.
You can always learn something from someone else, bro. Shit don't matter.
It's hand in hand. Mm-hmm. So and then when I heard DB, I was like, DBMovement, he grew his base. Now it's to where it's at. And yeah, man.
I'm gonna keep picking your brain with this. So how did like DBMovement like grow? So you started off, you said in the senior year, you said you had this idea, right? To train people for the position of DB.
Right.
And so how did you like put it out there? Like what did you do? What was this whole process starting off to get to where you are now?
The process pretty much, I did a pro day. I did a whole, for the NFL. Didn't work out.
So what's a pro day? I actually don't know. I'm not gonna hold y'all.
I can do a pro day.
Long story short.
So basically, it's like say if like the top labels were here and they wanted you to do a freestyle on the mic because you're an artist. It's like that. They're gonna test you. So pro days for football is like we're gonna showcase our skills with the top dogs, and then if they like us, they're gonna be like, yo, come through.
Yeah. Let me sign this contract.
Basically.
Sign your life away.
Basically, that's what it is.
Yeah.
All right, so continue.
But that didn't fall through, which was fine. Definitely, I was a little confused at that time because it's like, all right, no more sports. Like I won't be playing no more. And then that led to me training DBs. It was more so of like, let me just take this knowledge that I got and let me give it back. I feel like every kid deserves that opportunity that I got to play college ball, no matter what level it is. Just that experience, that feeling of I'm going to school for free, whether it's for free or half, whatever it is. But like that college experience of like running out of a tunnel on game day, the bands, it's the adrenaline,
being in that scene,
that brotherhood. That's what like till this day I miss that. Like I miss the camaraderie. It's just the adrenaline rush I really miss. Like I wasn't much of a practice person, which for y'all out there, don't listen to that. Practice makes perfect, real talk. But just like that adrenaline, like every kid deserves that. And I feel like me giving back that knowledge of everything I've learned growing up from youth to college to hanging out with, professionals and studying film, is like I want the best for all the kids I come in contact to.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, they just deserve it. Especially like New York City, for me personally, I feel like football here isn't, you know, loved, you know, like
Nah, we're not known for football.
Exactly.
We're just starting to become a little bit known, but we was never really known for football. We're known for
Exactly.
basketball and hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
exactly.
For football, it's like down south kids. When you go to camps like New Jersey, they're like, oh, you from New York City? Hell,
Yeah.
Brooklyn? Oh, trash.
I'm about to slap the shit out of
And-
you. Like,
And we don't have the public schools. We don't have the resources like that. We don't got the funds.
no, we don't.
Yeah.
We don't for football. We don't. It costs a lot of money. Down south, West Coast, they got the funds. Hey, you got the funds, you got the equipment, you're gonna do right with it if you use it well.
Mm-hmm.
So him saying that, I think, is a key point. Like he wants to give back, and he is a lot.
you should, yeah.
He is.
Yep.
His following base. If you go on his page, DBMovement, shout out DB. Like he said, Facebook, IG. What was it? Twitter. Do you have Twitter?
He about to
Yeah,
have
I got Twitter,
he about
I got
to have a
Twitter.
Pinterest. soon
Pinterest,
too,
you know,
bro.
come in, Pinterest, come in,
I'm
website,
dead.
I mean,
come
there's a
in.
lot of good content, and he's really giving back to NYC football.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot to mention, he was a coach at Christ. I don't know if you're still a coach, right?
Yeah, I'm still a coach at Christ the
Still
King.
a coach at Christ the King. Like,
Yeah. When I first came out, I coached at Midwood. Shout out to the Midwood kids. Shout out to the Midwood coaching staff.
now he's in the other side of the room.
Yeah, I'm on the Christ the King. I'm
That's
in the
crazy.
Catholic League now.
Yeah.
And then, so like
shout
you,
out to them too.
you built up your brand. So like you used your, so who was your network of people as well? Like when you were building up this brand,
Yeah,
like,
right here.
who was
I was,
literally your network to get
Yeah,
like all these
started-
clients? Because you,
all he needed was the 8 to come through, Ethan Addison to come
because
through,
all I
and then
heard,
everyone came through. Cause I ramped that shit up.
because I was hearing a lot like you trained like from youngins to pros, right?
Yeah.
So obviously, you know, getting youngins and like getting normal people, you know, that's always gonna come. How did you get in contact like with these pros? Like,
Right.
how did that even like? Did they come to you or you reached out to them? Like, I want to train you, or they came to you and was like, hey, I need some help.
Pretty much, Chris Cooper.
I think content they knew. I think content is king at that point.
Yeah.
Like I said, I didn't know, and then knowing his reputation. Yes, I'm kind of speaking for Trey, but knowing his reputation and like his rep at Stony Brook and what he's doing now, all people like, oh, you know, like they had that same thing. I was thinking, oh,
It's
Trey.
a lot of word to mouth too.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah,
crazy.
it was word to mouth. As athletes, word gets around like this. If you nice, they're gonna talk for you. You don't even need to say. You don't even need to say much when you're nice.
Yeah.
Just like I gave him. He didn't even have to say that he was nice. I just I talked for him. I talked for him, saying, you know, I gave him his flowers. I just said what it was.
Yeah, but definitely, obviously, he was like one of my first clients. Ruben, Jaden, those are like a few of my first clients, and then obviously my teammates from college, Coop, Darren, Ty, who else? I can't even. A bunch of people, you know, and then I used my high school kids as well. So I not use them, but like I worked with them as well. And just content, social media, and don't get me wrong, I'm not where I want to be, right at where I should be right now. But that's, you know, that's my personal life and things that I need to get done outside of DBMovement. But yeah, that's how like things started going.
Were there any like lows in like starting up this business?
Yeah, I think there's lows all
Yeah.
the time. We're going.
Absolutely.
Definitely,
But like, was there
definitely.
one point where you're just like, damn, like I don't know if I can keep doing this?
I'll be completely 100, and E, you know, it's been like multiple times where I've just been like, yo, E, I don't know if I want to do this right now. And that's that comes from me being a 20 in my 20s. You know, I've been playing football since I was 6 years old, and sometimes, you know, you just kind of want to step back from it and take a break. And then what do they say? You know if you really love something when you get like remove yourself from it and you really miss it. It's like, you know, as much as I keep, you know, I tell myself, yeah, I need a break. But as soon as I step away from it, it's like I miss it. And especially this year, like not having a football season it's been tough because it's like,
What do you do?
yeah, like I'm so used to like
That's your life.
these Saturdays,
everything.
these weekdays of practice, the weekends having games, and it's definitely been like tough. And then like obviously with COVID, you know, you still gotta have precaution for the kids, getting to sessions and stuff like that. So I
Yeah.
haven't really been having much sessions, which I would say this is like kind of a low for me. But I'm taking it one day at a time. You feel me?
It's like everything, man. And I think, like what you said before, you know, just harping on your giving back to the community and your movement. I think that's like really big for like anyone out there, I think, who wants to do anything. Like me, like for example, like I'm an artist, right? Like a lot of people don't know, like when it comes to being an artist, it's like your music matters, and that matters a lot because if music's good, people can gravitate towards it. But what makes them a fan of you is who you are. You know what I'm saying? Most people live and die. Like Ethan, right? Perfect example. Loves Meek Mill, right? Loves Meek Mill, Nipsey. But that's because he can personally relate to them and the message that they're putting out. Agreed. And if you can put out that message, I think for, you know, these kids and the youth, I think that's important for everyone. And I think all of us could take that lesson in because the youth is going to replace us when we're gone.
Exactly.
And if they can't replace us and do great things, that means we led them wrong, bro. You know what I'm saying? And like, we have to all, I think, be better at that because for real, if you can't replace us and you're not better than us, then we failed, in my opinion. That's how I look at it. We failed our jobs as people, mentors, and leaders.
Agreed.
And I think that's something that you have shown is very important. And I love about DB Movement is like, you don't care. You treat everyone the same in this. No matter how young you are to you're a pro.
Yeah,
I'm still going to slay you.
I'm talking about little kids.
Yeah. But that's extremely important because I feel like even in today's world, in our generation, I feel like the younger generation doesn't even understand what it's like to feel like what some of us have been through. Literally. You know what I'm saying? I know they have a lot more problems. You know, as time goes on, more problems are always going to arise. But like the fact that you're changing these kids' lives and putting them in like, this is what it's going to take. I feel like that's a great push because not many people have that anymore.
Right.
And I think you being a leader to these kids and a mentor really speaks like thousands of words for the whole world and whoever's tuning into this. You know what I'm saying? Because this goes with everyone who's listening. If you're doing something, make sure you're doing it for the right reasons and making sure you're sending a message and make sure it's true to who you are.
Agreed.
And the fact that you got out of this and you said, I love it, so I'm going to come back to it because you had some lows, says that you're really in it for the long.
Yeah,
you know what
definitely.
I'm saying?
Well said, brother, man. That was bing, 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 bing.
Facts.
That was really well said. I couldn't have agreed more on that.
Yeah.
You know, and to if you want to be with the best, you got to train with the best. And
absolutely.
That's what DB Movement is. They know his body. You know, they know the vibes when they come.
Yeah.
It's you could just tell when you look at his page. For those of you that don't know, behind the mic, watching, having tuned in, I don't care who you are. Look at DB Movement, be like, damn, it is elite. And it's in New York City. You don't even see that in New York City like that. You don't see that. I'm trying to look for, you like especially as DB, defensive back, it's hard to find that private elite trainer from defensive back that did it, has the knowledge, and I can relate to you at any level. Like I said, kids, played it as a youngin', 6, all the way to high school to college. And yeah, he had his pro day, he didn't go pro, but he's with the big leads. So yeah.
And like moving forward with DB Movement, like where do you see yourself in a couple of years, man? Because this is already kind of big right now. You already got big people under you. You got the youngins under you.
But
so
the
now,
scary thing is, it's like buzzing deep and Trey's just beginning, dog.
Exactly.
Just beginning.
So where's like the long picture for like DB? Like where do you see? Like what do you see in like 10 years, long down the road?
Whoa, 10 years.
Even 5.
Wow.
Let's say 5.
Now let's do 5.
Let's say 5.
He can't see that far. He's type old.
He says he's type old. I'm dead.
Nah.
So what do you see for like in a couple of years? Like what's your future vision, man, for DB Movement?
Like my 5-year plan for this is just impact as many kids as possible. You know, a lot of people be like, I want to open a facility. I want to do this. I want to do that. But I feel like if it's meant to be, it'll be. But I feel like I can't control who I impact. Right?
Or you could control the message that you're giving out.
Exactly. Yeah.
And those that are gonna feel it, they're gonna feel it.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then that's what I'm saying. Like it's like you giving back. And when they do great things, they're giving back to you.
Exactly.
And it's a reflection of you, and that's why we brought him on this podcast. Because why did we start this podcast, me and Casey? Because of impact. Because people were reaching out to me on social media like, Ethan, you gotta start a podcast. Your social media touches me. Just your word, just you speaking. You just hit a different spot. And I'm just like, I'm just being me. And I'm just telling you, I'm normal just like you. And I'm showing you my flaws into life and like how to overcome that. And I'm still go through those struggles. Trey still goes through those struggles. You do too. But we're just being open about it. And especially as young men, you don't even see that like that no more. Us doing this podcast is legendary. Us doing this, if we touch one life, we did a job. We did a good job.
Yeah.
I agree.
Because it takes a lot to even impact one person nowadays.
And Trey broke a curse within me, and I broke a curse within others as well from his teachings. And from the faults of others or from the good things of others, he's passing that down. So from the mistakes, he's telling them not to do these mistakes. And from the right things, he's passing those on. And he did that with me, like my coaching and whatever, me as an athlete. You know, I can say that I'm proud to be coached up by Trey. You know, I don't care what you tell me. If I was a trash DB, I got, you know, Trey could vouch for me. You know, I
gotta
did
be real sometimes, bro. Sometimes the truth hurts until you get better.
I worked my ass off with Trey, and I felt elite when I was training with him. So for any athletes out there that just want to get right, man, it's right here.
Facts.
The DBMovement, and for anybody that's trying to get, you know what I'm saying, get physical, you know, Trey gets you right, but you're trying to get our diesel, little cut up. Let me tell you, lean cuisine is Big E right here.
Shout out for your D, bro, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, like, for the listeners out there, right? Like, what's some advice you can give to people who are going through it right now, who are athletes going through it? What are some things from your experience that you can give advice to these people who are going through it right now?
Yeah, the most important thing.
Even, like, it could be one thing, 1 to 3 things. Like, what's the most important things when it comes to all this?
As Marshawn Lynch would say, control your mental. Literally, control your mental. This sports will mess up your mental. Control it. Like, if some days you got to take a step back and meditate, but control your mental, right? And I try and tell my kids, sports don't last forever, right?
Nothing does.
Yeah, the game don't last forever, right? So enjoy it, right? Enjoy every moment, every practice, every lift, every whatever it is. Enjoy it, literally. Like, when I was going through, like, my journey, my football journey, my sports journey, you know, you kind of forget to have fun sometimes. You know, like, when things aren't going good, you down, you mad, you know, you hate everything. And then it took me until probably my senior year of college, which so happily ended up being the year I became a third team All-CA. And it was just like, I was just happy. You know, like, I had days, don't get me wrong, everyone has days, but it was just like, I wasn't stressing over everything, right? We're going to stress regardless, we're humans. But I wasn't stressing over every little thing. I enjoyed my senior year. I took everything in. And, you know, that's my message to everyone in life, every athlete, everything. It's just like, control your mental and just enjoy every moment.
Live in the now.
Yep.
Live in the now,
Exactly.
control
Live in
it.
the now.
Like what you taught me throughout our coaching, you just like stop overthinking. Even Darren told me, because I still overthink. I overthink, and a lot of us overthink because we want to be perfect. You know, I think I want to be as perfect as I could be. I want to get right. You told me I did it wrong by this. I told Trey, run it back. He told me, look, I said, run it back. He's like, nah, man, you know, just do 3. We're going to do 3. I said, I don't care. Run it back until I get it right. And we kept doing it. But again, what he said, I think that was a great way just to sum it all up. Like I said, football is a rough sport, but thankfully it brought me and Trey together. God did too, because who would have thought? I would have never thought, you know, me and Trey, we weren't talking for years, and then boom, and then just connected. At all. And now, you know, we're cool like this. And it's because content is king too. Just whatever good thing you got going on, just put it out there, because you never know who you're gonna touch. Like, if he didn't put the movement, like I said, he probably we would not had this relationship. And it's a vital relationship in my life now. And again, shout out just everyone out there for just tuning in. Again, me and Casey can't say much more. Yeah. It's an honor to do a podcast for you guys tuning in, listening, watching, subscribing. My mom's like, oh, I'm your #1 fan. What are you gonna tell me about this episode? Like, that's what it's about. My mom is saying that, and then my family. Like, I could give 2 shits if a hater's hating on me or whatever. Like, my mom is proud of me, and my family's like, oh, he's putting the message out for the fam. Like, big up, and I'm on a platform that's gonna live forever. We have on YouTube. The only one I could delete it is YouTube if we do something wrong. But it's gonna be there. And like he said, impact as many lives as we can. Yep. Trey's on this episode. Now he's gonna touch one athlete. Now one athlete's gonna tell, and that impact is gonna be forever.
Absolutely. And I even learned something today because like I didn't know much about football.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna hold you. I don't know too much about sports. But like you taught me something that's a lot more different than just like what you see on like the surface level. There's a lot more that goes into being an athlete. I've also learned this from Ethan, but also hearing like your point of view, you know, and trying to build up your own business using the sport, like it's pretty phenomenal, man. And like the fact that you like want to change lives is just like really big, and giving back to the youth, I think, is extremely important.
Definitely.
And that shit crazy to me.
Nah, impact is everything.
Absolutely.
And that student athlete life is tough. It's tough, but I think it prepares us for that competitive nature of the real world. Like it gives us, no offense to you, Casey, or anyone that didn't play sports, it kind of gives us that one up over someone, because we know how to like compete, and we know, and like kind of football relates to like that real world life, and it's nitty gritty. The world is too. But again, thank you, Trey, for just coming in. My brother from another, you heard?
Appreciate y'all.
Brothers in the Deep End, season 2. We here, big time. It's Ethan Addison. I'm out of here, my bro. Trey, any last words?
Hey, enjoy life, man. Be cool. I always tell you, I'm just mad lethargic.
That's that old head shit. All right, good.
Cool.
That's that
I
old head shit.
appreciate you all for tuning in, man. Thank you guys for listening. This is Casey. We out.
And we out.
Brothers in the Deep End.
I'm out of here.